Welcome to Plant City Bonsai. I'm Steve Craddy, and this is our Window of Opportunity video. I want to mention several events that we have upcoming. On April 12th, we have our first Intro to Bonsai class instructed by David PM. The very next day, on the 13th, we're doing a Redwood / ball cypress forest group planting. I'm very excited about both of the classes upcoming. And then on the 26th of this month, we have Larry Jackal coming over from Denver to do a special class on Yamadori. So the classes, it just gets more exciting all the time. We're in the room now with the raw material Redwoods and ball cypress. And what's really incredible is we have all the different sizes that we need. And I want to use this planting right here as an example. This was done 4 years ago, and very nice placement of the trees. I'm using my new cart. As I get older, tools like this come in very handy. This cart that we are showing now will actually lift 1,000 pounds. But this is kind of an example. The forest being done on the 13th will be very similar in size to this one. It takes more than 3 trees to work. 3 will work, but it's more difficult. I recommend 5 tree planting. Like I said, this was done 4 years ago, and it's maturing beautifully. Very natural placement of trees. Welcome to our potting shed. I like to call it a shed because it's usually very trashy, and people love it though because you can come here and get dirty and work on your trees and be creative. Today I'm doing something we often have to do, and that is after a very harsh winter season, a forest planting or any type of planting, you can suffer some losses. So what we're going to be doing with this planting is I'm identifying trees that did not make it through this winter, and there's 4 or 5 that did not make it. But fortunately, it's my favorite tree, so I grow hundreds of the Trident maples. All the sizes you see here, I have rows of them ready to go. So it'll take quite a transformation. It'll be a different forest. The trees are different, and we're just going to see what happens. This forest was originally done 3 seasons ago, and it flourished from the very beginning. It was just a very nice, strong forest. Unfortunately, it's become weak, and therefore we're doing what we're doing today. I'm going to replace the main tree. Fortunately, I have another main tree that actually kind of echoes the shape. So my client likes the setting of this, so I'm going to try to keep it as close to original as possible. So Sandy, if you will take this tree and start the process of removing the soil. We're also going to be doing the same thing to the secondary tree. Probably the back, and at least 2 to 3 on this side. Again, it's going to maintain this very similar flow. So the next step is to remove the moss that's easily replaced. And I did take a picture of this, so I will have a if I sort of am losing the original design, we have several photos of different angles where I can refer back to it. The trees are leafing out, so she has the tree at this point where we want it to be. We won't take it any further than it right there. It won't skip a beat. She's going to cut the roots, wrap the roots until we're ready to put it down. Now that she has taken the roots, made the roots conform to our vessel, she's wrapped it with a wet paper towel. That keeps the roots. It keeps you from having to a misting bottle and wet it down every 2 or 3 minutes. A wetted cloth or paper towel is your friend here. After considering the trees that we were replacing, the next step is just to remove the trees from the tray. It makes it easier to do the design. And I've already put the base bonsai mix, which is a 3-part mix, in the bottom of the tray. And the next step is to configure the trees. Remove the soil from the tree carefully. These are leafed out, so I'm going to be very, very conservative in doing this. In fact, this is ready to put into the tray right now. Sandy, would you hand me the #1 tree, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Really important to get our flow going. What I have here is I just removed this soil mass from a pot. This is where we just actually put some tiny Trident maple seedlings in, and they're just growing beautifully on their own. And it makes, I love putting like a cluster of these into a forest, because it's nothing's more natural than the way these come up from seeds. It's I'm treating it like one tree. Going to get another cluster freed up. Still preparing some of the trees for the planting. It's a nice root system. This is a nice stable one, one of the better ones. I'm not doing bare root. They're leaved out, plus they're planted in bonsai soil. Most of them or a bonsai training mix. I have my basic layout. Again, this is from the original planting. I took a photograph. So I'm not being creative here. I'm trying to improve health by replacing some of the trees. But the layout is basically the same, and I think it's going to really be a beautiful forest. If anything, the size differentiation in some of the new trees is actually better. So we're doing something good here. The trees are fairly set, but after with the soil around them, and I still like to tie them in. It's very crucial to not have any moving around of the trunks while the new roots are establishing. And then after that, we'll chopstick it in to fill up any of the air pockets. Now that we have the trees placed, we've started putting the soil in. Sandy is now using a fat chopstick to move the soil as well as fill in the air pockets. Very crucial part of this process. When we're doing a new forest, it's actually fun to add stones, but I actually initially use them as support tools to keep the tree steady. So these probably will be moved around after the tree gets acclimated and starts growing in harmony. I like to, after I get the basic planting, and believe me, this is just the basic planting, we'll be doing lots of tweaking, pruning and such, but I like to cover a lot of the surface with sphagnum moss. It makes me feel better, and I think it helps out the trees also. Certainly helps hold the moisture in its first delicate days of reestablishing. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sphagnum moss is actually very good. There's nothing bad about sphagnum moss. It helps out with anything that you want to keep a little bit wetter. If you have an erosion problem, it's great for making watering easier. This forest had a dry stream, so I want to replace that into its natural original state. So I'm using just a natural gravel. This will be eventually replaced with a more coarse gravel that won't float. But I like making a nice natural pathway. I think that really adds to it. One last thing, it's one of the fun finishes is to add a couple of natural ferns. This is Selaginella. It is actually a hardy fern. This is nice and bright green because it's been in the heated greenhouse for the winter time. But it's actually hardy outdoors, even in winter like this. But it's very nice for creating a natural fern growing right at the edge of a stone. I'm kind of seeing it right here. Make a little cavity. I love doing this. And if you do it right, it'll look like it's been there for a long, long time. And this stuff, it's great. It spreads, and you can't have too much of it. You love it. You can just move it from tree to tree. Next important step is settling the trees in through a gentle watering. Create kind of a rain effect. The pumice has sort of floated to the surface. We'll cover that up with fresh moss where it will reappear. I enjoyed rebuilding this forest for my client. I think she's going to be very, very pleased with it. I'm very much looking forward to next weekend's class using redwood and ball cypress. Now imagine your favorite place to hike, maybe a faraway place. We can do that next weekend. The window's wide open to create these majestic forests. I hope you will consider attending.